Hi there, this is our week 9 help video, and I apologize in advance. I already know my internet is being a little funky, and so if it freezes with a strange expression on my face, that's why. But I know that a lot of you are focused on review and taking the Chapter 3 test, so this video isn't going to be about anything new, but I wanted to, since we're kind of in between chapters right now, I wanted to take the chance to talk about the survey, the midterm survey, and to thank all of you for your feedback that you gave me. I got some really great feedback, great suggestions for improvement, and I look forward to implementing those in a future semester, as well as looking for ways that I can implement them for the rest of this semester as well. So thank you again, and I wanted to respond to a few things with some ideas for how you might be, ideas for improving the class for you for the rest of this semester. And so first of all, a couple people mentioned not being able to get answers to the My Spanish Lab assignments. So I wanted to address that because that is an option for you at this point. The way I have it set up is after the 5th attempt, you should be able to see your answers to all of the SAM activities in My Spanish Lab. I don't have it set up that way for tests and quizzes because I want to maintain the integrity of those testing materials and not have the answers available. But for the My Spanish Lab SAM assignments, all of those, the answers should be visible to you after you've submitted the 5th attempt. So if you aren't able to see that or you aren't sure how to find them, please email me and I'll help you navigate that. Also, if you're doing any of the e-text activities for extra practice, those should be set up to, after your first attempt, show you the correct answers. So those are both set up so that you can see your answers and identify what you did wrong. If you have used your 5th attempt on something and you see the answer and you say, hey, wait, I think that my answer was just as good as the answer that was given as the correct answer, shoot me an email. I'm always happy to override a score and make sure that you get credit for a reasonable answer that you gave. Anytime that you're working with a computer graded system, that's one of the things that an instructor has to be willing to give some flexibility with. So I am happy to do that. The next thing that I want to talk about a little bit is the textbook and workflow for the class. So there were a lot of comments about the textbook just not being user-friendly or not being very valuable to you as a student. And there's always going to be a drawback with textbooks. A textbook can't be everything to everybody. And there are certainly some drawbacks with this textbook, just like there are with every textbook. And we as a Spanish department are continuing to always look at the latest materials that are out there and evaluate new textbooks to see if they would provide an improvement over what we have today. One of the limitations is because we have online sections, we want to make sure that the online materials are that there are a lot of online materials available, and that there's online practice available with any textbook that we adopt. So that's one of the reasons that we have this one right now, is because it does have that full suite of online materials. But again, we're always looking for ways to improve. So another thing, though, that I want you to think about is that the textbook is not the extent of the class. In Blackboard, every time that there's a new topic, I have the textbook pages and the SAM activities, but I also have additional links and videos and materials to support your understanding. But it's not just for support. Those are things that I've selected because they're the way that I would explain that concept in a live class that I was teaching. And so be sure that you think about the lessons not just as the textbook lessons, but as the full sum of all of those materials. And maybe that will be a little bit more helpful. I include the textbook because, of course, it's from the same place that does the SAM activities, and so it's worded the same way. And it'll have the same expectations and the same way that things are communicated. So I think that's valuable to you as a student. But don't feel like the textbook is the core part of the lesson. Be sure to use those videos and other materials as well to support your understanding. Also, the live chat. I know that there's been some frustration about scheduling with the live chat, and that's why VoiceThread is an option. And I know that some of you, because you like that live interaction, and so you're still committed to making live chat work, but a little frustrated with scheduling. And I certainly understand that. I'm looking at whether groups would be a better option. So thank you to a couple of you who suggested maybe having assigned groups for the live chat. But I do want to leave that flexibility with VoiceThread to be an option as well. So I want to be careful with how I would implement groups so that people aren't locked into having to do the live chat if they need to use VoiceThread instead for some reason. So I will continue to work on what's the best way to approach those things. Another thing that came up was the value that would be offered or that would be added by having in-person meetings. And that certainly is a real factor with this. And that's why we have both face-to-face classes on campus, and we also have hybrid classes that meet just once a week. So I know some of you feel like the online environment is not the best for you for learning a language. And so I would encourage you, if for continuing on with 102, you might look at a hybrid class. Those meet just once a week. So it's less time on campus, and then the rest of that is online. So it's still the online environment that you're familiar with, but you have that once a week class and meeting with classmates and with the instructor right there in the classroom. So you might consider whether a hybrid option would be a good option for you if you have schedule limitations but want to have that classroom experience. And then also, don't forget that we have the language lab. I have my office hours. You are encouraged and welcome to take advantage of either or both of those things to be able to get some live in-person interaction. And if those don't work for you, maybe you're not located here in the Treasure Valley and you're wanting the opportunity for some live interaction. I have Skype as an option, or phone call, or whatever is best for you, that we could do interaction either just, you could contact just me, or if you want to try to set up study times or whatever where there would be more students involved as well, we can certainly do that. Blackboard has a tool that I haven't used recently, but Blackboard Collaborate is a tool that we can use for some synchronous sessions. So if you think that would be helpful, let me know, and I would be happy to try to schedule something like that. And, again, that live interaction, I know that is incredibly valuable to online students. So if someone wants to take advantage of that, I would be happy to help coordinate that. Also, some people talked about wanting to have better and more frequent opportunities to practice with, sentence structure and just with practicing with the language overall. And a couple of tools that I would recommend to you. One is Duolingo. It's an app. You've probably heard about it. It gets a lot of buzz right now, but it's an app that's available on both Apple and Android devices. You could also use the web-based version of it. And it's a language learning software or app. Sorry, I have a fly that is bothering me to no end. It is a language learning app, and it doesn't necessarily align in terms of the order of topics 100% with what we are doing, but it is very valuable for getting familiar with basic Spanish sentence structure, vocabulary, all of that. And it's a great tool. I use it myself when I am working on improving my French skills. My kids use it. It's great for all ages. I'm so sorry. It's that time of year when the flies just get nasty. Anyway, Duolingo. Look it up if you're looking for more opportunities to practice. Also, studyspanish.com is a great website. Part of it is subscription-based, but there's a lot of it that's available without a subscription, and it's just additional opportunities to practice, more sentence examples, and examples of how this all works when we put it all together. So I do recommend that. I have put together a list for myself of podcasts to check out, language learning podcasts, and I'm working on evaluating some of those and seeing which of them might be valuable to recommend for students. So, but also if you like to listen to podcasts, just do a search for Spanish, and there are getting to be quite a few out there. If I end up finding one that I think is really valuable, I'll post it in Blackboard. But I'm looking for some of those because that can be a really great opportunity for you to get more exposure to the spoken language and just overall the structure of the language. So, anyway, I think that is it. I hope some of that is helpful to you. Again, thank you so much for all of your feedback. and for completing that survey. A lot of you ended up taking the survey, and I really, really appreciate your feedback there. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you online.